Okay, let's talk about project management tools. As a manager, you know that picking the right one can feel, well, a little overwhelming. But here's the thing, getting it right can totally transform your team's productivity. Get it wrong, that's a fast track to chaos. So today, we're going to open up the manager's playbook for actually selecting, implementing, and getting real, measurable value from these things. All right, let's get into it. And just for context, this is Chapter 5 of a 5-chapter course from Virtualization Options LLC, all about the overview of common project management methodologies. So we're zooming in specifically on the tools and how to make them work. So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle why these tools even matter. Then we'll survey the landscape of what's out there. After that, we'll walk through a solid framework for choosing the right one for you, cover the secrets to implementing it for success, and finally, look at how you can actually measure the payoff. All right, Section 1. Why should we even care about these tools? Honestly, it's all about moving your projects from a state of total chaos to one of absolute clarity. But let's get real. Beyond just, feeling a bit more organized, what's the actual tangible impact? Why does this really matter for your team's success? Well, the proof is right here in the numbers, and this comes straight from the Project Management Institute. Organizations that use these tools, they see a 77% project success rate, and the ones who are just winging it, only 46%. That is a massive difference, and it's one that you can absolutely feel on the bottom line. But, and this is a huge but, a tool is not some kind of magic wand. You have to remember this quote. Tools are amplifiers. They take your good processes and they make them better. But they take your bad processes and they make them so much worse. If your methodology is a mess, a shiny new tool is just going to help you create a bigger, more expensive mess faster. Okay, so let's assume your process is solid. Now we can move on to the tool landscape itself and figure out how to find the right fit for your specific team. Let's start with the two heavyweights, Jira and Asana. The strategic choice here pretty much boils down to this. Jira is an absolute powerhouse for technical teams, especially software developers, because it offers deep customization. Asana, on the other hand, is built from the ground up for user-friendliness, which makes it fantastic for cross-functional teams. Think marketing, operations, you name it. And this table gives you a deeper look. You can really see the trade-offs. Jira's got a steep learning curve, no doubt, but you get incredibly extensive customization and really deep technical integrations. Asana is way easier to kick up, and its integrations are aimed more at broad business tools. So the right choice? It completely depends on who's going to be in there clicking around every single day. But of course, it's not just a two-horse race. There are other great options out there. Monday.com is super visual and really flexible. You've got Microsoft Project, the old standard for those really complex traditional projects. Trello is simplicity at its best, perfect for visual Kanban boards. And then there's Smartsheet, which is awesome for teams that love that spreadsheet feel but need more power. So, with all these options, how in the world do you actually make a decision? Don't worry, let's walk through a simple 5-step framework that will guide you right to your choice. Okay, step 1. Define what you absolutely, positively need. Step 2, think hard about your users. Are they engineers or are they marketers? It matters. Step 3, look at the total cost, not just the sticker price per seat. Step 4, and this one is so crucial, run a small pilot test with a real project. And finally, step 5, plan for adoption from day one. Because let's face it, a tool that nobody uses is completely worthless. So you've made your choice. Awesome. But now the real work starts. Let's look at a roadmap for a successful implementation and, maybe even more importantly, the common pitfalls you really want to avoid. Trust me on this, a phased rollout is your best friend. Start with the basics, the foundation, in the first couple of weeks. Then run that pilot for about a month to work out all the kinks. After that, do a limited rollout to your most enthusiastic people before you go broad. And please remember, implementation is never really done. It's an ongoing cycle of tweaking and optimizing. Now, let's talk about what not to do. First, don't try to over-customize the tool before anyone's even used it. Second, don't skimp on training. And this is a big one. Don't try to force your methodology onto the team using the tool settings. You have to get buy-in on the process first. And always choose based on usability, not just a long list of features no one will ever touch. Okay, so the tool is rolled out, people are using it,
How do you actually prove to your boss and, to yourself that it was worth all the time and money? Let's talk about measuring that payoff.
The very first, most fundamental metric is just this: adoption rate. Are people actually logging in and using the thing? A high percentage of active users, like this 85% here, is your number one sign that things are heading in the right direction. If that number's low, you've got a problem you need to solve, fast.
Next up, you've got to look at real business outcomes. Is your on-time delivery rate getting better? The whole point of the tools should be to help your team hit their deadlines more consistently. If you can track this trend moving up over time, that's how you demonstrate real impact.
And finally, please don't forget the human element. Is the team actually happy with this new tool and the new process? High user satisfaction is absolutely critical for long-term success. Why? Because a frustrated team will always find workarounds, and that undermines the whole system you just built. As we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last piece of advice. Just remember that methodologies and the tools that support them are frameworks. They are not rigid rules. They're there to serve you, not the other way around. Be flexible. The best approach is almost never a pure one. It's usually a hybrid you've tailored perfectly to your team.
So there you have it. You've got the playbook now for moving your team from chaos to clarity. The only question left is, what's the very first step you're going to take to empower your team